Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna be doing a review of Norvina palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'll be doing like swatch comparisons to the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk and the Modern Renaissance and the Soft Glam palette that they already have, just to see if there's like comparison shades to. So you guys, I bought an extra one just for you guys to host a giveaway, but I won't be doing it in this video because I'm waiting to hit 2K on Instagram because I've already hit 1K. So I kind of want to do like a 2 prize giveaway. So if you're not following me on Instagram, just go ahead. I'm like 20 people away. So without me rambling too much on my intro, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and always don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my Instagram. The link down below in my description box. So thank you so much for watching, and let's get on to the video. Obsessed with ABH eyeshadows. They're my favorite formula ever. So every time they launch a palette, I always feel like I need it in my life, but that's just me. I'm gonna let you know if you need this palette. So the exterior mirrors the interior packaging of their eyeshadow palettes. This does have the velvet type material that all their 4 previous palettes that they had. Velvet thing gets dirty really fast, and I am super anal about like dirty eyeshadow palettes. I said I have a pretty obsession with ABH eyeshadow palettes. It all started with the Self-Made palette that they launched like years ago, and I fell in love with that. And then after that, this is the Mario palette, and the Modern Renaissance, Subculture, Prism, and Soft Glam. All these four have the similar packaging to Norvina. This is the only palette that I've ever seen from ABH that has 7 mattes, so 7 shimmer shades and metallic shades. Of course, it comes with their brush, which I personally love. I think it's a really good quality brush that you get inside, and the blending side usually sheds, but honestly it doesn't matter because I just kind of only use this side if I need to blend something out or do like a transition shade. But the eyeshadow part of the brush, I absolutely love this brush. It does retail for $42 as all the other eyeshadow palettes do. I'm around Instagram saying that it's very similar to the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, and I feel like the only reason people are saying that is just because this has like a purple theme. As you can see, there's like this row like right over here is just like a hint of like purpley shades, and I think that's why people were saying that it's similar. I want to tell you guys one thing, like this shade Love is, I feel like it's so me. Let me bring it closer. I feel like it's so me because I love like blush tones and mauve tones, and I also really love Soul. I think it's such a stunning, like, I don't know if you would call it like a periwinkle, but this shade definitely reminds me of Norvina because that's the shade that her hair is, and every time I look at it I'm just like, oh, that's her for sure. And then my next favorite shade in the palette is Base, which is basically a base shade that you need in like every palette to set like your base or your concealer that you're using just to prime your eyelids. But the only thing is, when I first saw this shade, I thought like it was a matte like bone color shade, but it actually has a slight bit of shimmer to it from what I see in the pan. Okay, now I'm gonna get onto the swatches. I'm gonna do the top row first, and then I'm gonna do this row, and then I'm gonna do this row. First shade is Dreamer, and oh, that had a lot of kick up just from like the swatch, but it feels really buttery just like their other eyeshadow palettes, and that's Dreamer. I feel like I can use this shade as a face highlighter as well. Like I feel like a lot of skin tones can, not just me. This shade is called Summer, and they all feel so buttery to the touch. That shade is so stunning, you guys. Next one is called Wild Child, which is like a pink. I think it has like some reflex to it, like it's a pink with like fuchsia reflex to it, like fuchsia sparkles. And I'm like the worst swatcher, you guys. There's that. And then the shade after that, which I'm so excited for as well, which is called Rose Gold. Oh, I love that. Oh my, this is Celestial. It's called Dazzling. Shimmer shade on that row is called Drama. It's the darkest shimmer shade in the palette. And it's the only like shimmer shade in the palette that had the least kickback. I'm going to show you guys my palette just so you can see what I'm talking about. Like the indent of all the shadows when I like try to swatch it. As you guys can see, it did have fallout, but it's not like something that you don't see nowadays. I don't know if you guys can tell, but like that last shade, Drama, kind of left a stain on my hand when I try to wipe it off compared to all the other shades. Swatch the first two matte shades to get like really fast on camera, just so that I can get the feel of how the matte shades feel, and then the rest I'm just gonna like speed through it, like and then show you guys the swatches, because I feel like the video is gonna be so long because I talk so much. Bone base, and like I said, I thought it was a matte, but it has a slight sheen to it when I see it on the pan, but I just want to check how the swatch looks, if the swatch has a shimmer to it. No, the swatch does not have a shimmer to it. I'm so happy about that, because I would use this to set my my base, and I don't want no shimmer when I'm starting off. Shade that I'm so excited for is Soul, so I'm just gonna swatch that next to it. Wow, that was more pigmented than I expected it to be. Blends out like really nice. Like when I try to blend it out. I went ahead and swatched the rest of the matte shades, and they all swatch really nicely. I'm sorry about the last part. The shade Love, which is that blush shade, also has like slight bit of shimmer to it, but it doesn't come off onto the skin when I swatched it. Shade, the matte darker shade in the Prism. Oh my god. In the Norvina palette is similar to Red Ochre in the Modern Renaissance palettes. I'm gonna swatch that next to each other. So this is Passion from Norvina. And then this is Red Ochre from Modern Renaissance. Okay, so Red Ochre is a lot more like, has a lot more warmth in it than Poison. Poison looks more neutral. Watch Cypress Umber right next to it from the Modern Renaissance palette, just to see, which I'm gonna do right here to see if it's similar. It's definitely not similar at all. The next shade I want to swatch next to each other is Incense and Raw Sienna. I'm going to do Raw Sienna right here from the Modern Renaissance palette, and then right next to it I'm going to do Incense from Norvina, and then right after that I'm going to do Rustic from the Soft Glam palette. They don't look similar whatsoever. They each just go deeper in shade. Like Raw Sienna is a lot lighter, but they all are in the same undertone family, but they just are deeper in tones. Now I'm gonna swatch Rose Gold next to Sultry. Sultry, by the way, is my favorite shade from the Soft Glam palette. And let's see, so Rose Gold, Norvina, and then Sultry from Soft Glam. Now Sultry is a lot darker, although they look pretty similar in the pan. I'm gonna swatch Dazzling next to Sultry because that looks pretty similar to Dazzling from the Norvina palette. See, no, it's definitely not. It's the same like tone family, but Sultry is just a lot deeper. And the Norvina palette shades are just a lot more intense and shiny, as you guys can tell. Okay, now I'm just gonna swatch shades from the Huda Beauty palette, comparing it to the Norvina palette. To me, honestly, I don't feel like there are like similar shades. It's just that it kind of just borderlines purple a lot, and I don't know, you guys. I feel like if you have this palette, do you need the Norvina palette? I don't think so, but I personally love ABH eyeshadow formulas a lot more than I do love Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes. So I feel like if it's if you don't own this and you're debating between the two, I would definitely say just get the Norvina palette. But if you feel like the Norvina palette is way off your price point, because $42 is a bit pricey, and you can just wait for Bad Habit to do a dupe palette for the Norvina palette. They typically do dupes for ABH palettes. You can find them at Shop Hush, the app, and you can just wait it out, and it'll probably be like 12 bucks, I think. And the formula is great on those palettes as well, so you don't necessarily need to get the Norvina palette if you don't have the money. Twilight and Celestial next to each other. Twilight from the Huda Beauty palette, and Celestial from the Norvina palette. Celestial, and then this is Twilight. See, they're not similar whatsoever. The Celestial shade has a lot more of a blue reflex to it, while the Twilight shade from Huda Beauty has a lot more like purpley, like blue reflex to it, as the Celestial shade is a purple undertone, but it has a purple. They both have a blue reflex to it, but the only difference is that the Celestial shade is deeper in like the purple shade range, and then Twilight is more of like a topper kind of shade. Any other shade that is honestly so similar, maybe Oud and Passion. I'm gonna swatch Oud from the Huda Beauty and Passion from Norvina. They definitely look similar, but swatch wise, let's see. So this is Oud and this is Passion. Passion's a lot deeper than Oud is. Say the only difference is that the Norvina palette has a bit more kickback than the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette has. And what else should I swatch? Musk and Insane is two different shades. Like Musk, if you can tell in the pan, is more of a cool tone. All the swatches done. Now I'm gonna do my eyes, and I'm gonna do a quick tutorial, but I'm gonna fast forward it and then get back to you guys on tell you guys how it blended out and things like that. So as you guys can tell, I have some fallout like right here. This is that love shade that I used on my eyelid, and then over here I have some of that soul shade fell onto my face. The eyeshadows that have a bit of fallout, but that's completely normal. I would just recommend like tapping off the excess before you go and apply it on your face. So now I'm just gonna finish off the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Hey guys, so I'm back with my full face done, and I'm so happy with the way my look turned out. I didn't know how it was gonna go, but I honestly like it. And you guys, I use this palette for my face as well. I did use that Dreamer shade that I said as my highlight, and guess what? It looks so beautiful. Like, that's the highlight I have right now. And then the shade that I have on my eyelid, which is Love, is also what I used as blush as well, and I think it's so pretty. So I'm absolutely in love with this palette, like I am with all the other palettes. And in my opinion, I do not think it's similar to the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. This palette way more than I love the Huda Beauty palette, just because of the formula of ABH eyeshadows. And if you guys are in the market and you know you want to pick up a new palette and you're interested in this palette, I think you definitely should. But the question is, do you need it? I don't think you need it if you have any like similar like shades of this palette. And she hasn't announced if it's limited edition yet or not, so I'm not entirely sure how what they're planning to do. Because I remember, I think the Modern Renaissance was, or maybe, I don't know, I think it was limited edition and then they made it permanent. I'm not entirely sure, but basically I think this palette is so stunning, and I did this entire look with this palette. It gets an A+ in my book, in my opinion, because I'm very picky with eyeshadow palettes. If you guys see my eyeshadow palette collection, it's honestly not that much. Well, in my opinion, it's not that much. Like, I have a drawer full of eyeshadow palettes that I wasn't like blown away with, or like that I don't reach for, and then I have a drawer of just palettes that I use on a daily, and it's like it's only one drawer. And I know that sounds like a lot for a lot of people, but like in my like YouTube life, it's honestly not at all. And I love this palette. I think I'll be using, I feel like I would use this palette a lot more than I would use the rest of the palettes that they launched, just because of these shades are like shades that I personally use. Maybe not sort of like celestial, but other than that, like all the other shades I would definitely use. Like I said, I use Dreamer as highlight, and I'll be doing that if I ever like keep doing my eyeshadow with this palette. And I use Love as blush. And I'm always into like the neutral like tone blushes, and I feel like it has just enough of a neutral undertone to work as a blush for my skin complexion. Like, so to me, this palette I love. Ignore this red spot, it's just because I scratched right there. And yeah, overall I'm really impressed, as I am with all my other palettes of Anastasia Beverly Hills. They did not disappoint with this one either. So obviously it has Norvina's name on it, so of course she's not gonna put out a weak ass palette. So I recommend this palette. I love it so much. And if you want to pick up, like, if you're wondering to pick it up, I say pick it up. But if you are on a budget and you can afford $42 palette, then just wait it out for the shop Hush to release a palette by the Bad Habit, I think that's what they're called, and they will do a dupe palette for this, which is probably gonna be like $10 to $15. So just wait it out if you really don't want to get this palette. I can't guarantee that they will do it, but they typically do a dupe palette. Thank you so much for watching, and